Hi, thank you for coming to our Social Work 728 group intervention demonstration. This is presented by Jordan Rorty, Heather Vines, and Mariah Waters. So our case study focused on a client, Darlene Smith. She is 65-year-old female. She is Caucasian. She is currently married and has a very supportive husband, but no children. So Darlene presents with many anxious and agoraphobic symptoms. So she immediately came in and started talking about her anxious feelings. So she described a lot of physical symptoms with her anxiety. So she had, sweaty palms, her chest was beating, she felt tingly. Her husband even recommended that she go to the doctor, and there were no medical findings that were, worth reporting. And so she continued to look into therapy options. So she also, avoids crowds. She really doesn't like to get out of her house because of her agoraphobic tendencies. And, she's really wanting to expand her quality of life. And she has stated that she would like to attend bingo, which is a large crowd. So it would be something that she's working towards. So for her DSM-5 diagnosis, she is diagnosed with the following: panic attack F41 and agoraphobia F40.
The client areas of strength, she's has attended therapy in the past, so that is positive. She does have a very supportive relationship with her husband, and she does have strong problem-solving skills and is determined to feel better. The areas of growth, she reports social withdrawal during her episodes. She also reports a low self-esteem and could use improvement to better utilize her coping skills. And she reports being afraid to leave her house.
So the treatment plan that we came up with for our client, goal number one is the client will reduce over the overall level, frequency, and intensity of anxious distress so that daily functioning is not impaired. As you can see, our two objectives are below that for goal number one. Goal number two is the client will learn and implement coping skills that result in the reduction of anxiety and worry and improve daily functioning. And you can see the two objectives below. Then goal number three is the client will discuss the factors that trigger her panic attacks or panic-like symptoms or what makes them worse. And you can see our objectives below for that. Our intervention is the client will undergo ACT therapy for over 16 weeks to reduce the frequency, duration, and intensity of anxiety and agoraphobia symptoms. In therapy sessions, the therapist will use scaling questions to help the client identify how intense the triggers, anxiety, panic attacks, and panic-like symptoms are each week over 16 weeks. The client will practice mindfulness techniques such as coping mechanisms when experiencing anxiety and agoraphobia symptoms over the next 16 weeks.
Our main points, ACT therapy, it can help really with a variety of mental health conditions, including stress regulation, work stress, anxiety, depression, substance abuse, and phobias. It is a unique empirically based psychological intervention that uses acceptance and mindfulness together with commitment and behavior change strategies to increase psychological flexibility. There are six core processes: acceptance, cognitive diffusion, being present, self as context, values, and committed action. And ACT focuses on the three areas of accepting your reactions and being present, choose a valued direction, and take action. And our worksheets are also described within the role play on the next slide. And this is our role play. We hope you enjoy it.
Hey, Darlene, how are you doing this week?
I'm not doing so well. Um, I don't know. I feel like there's just a lot jumbled up in my head right now.
Okay, okay, that's understandable. I know we went over the homework last week, the values bullseye. And I know the things that you really mentioned that, you know, you really want to work on are your relationships, your personal growth.
Yeah. And I was feeling, really encouraged, I think, after our last couple of sessions. And um, I actually did the first two homework assignments. And so I felt like really encouraged by that. But as far as like putting these into action, I still feel like I'm having a hard time.
Okay,
And creating a lot of tension between me and my husband. And it's feeling overwhelming.
okay, that's completely understandable, and I can understand that you feel overwhelmed going through this. And we're gonna work through that. This session, I want to go over the homework that you had last time over the dissecting the problems worksheet. And then we're gonna work on some grounding techniques for you. Simple ways to get present and be in the moment. So those are some things that we're gonna go over this session. So were you able to do all of the homework this past week?
So I started the homework. I had really good intentions. I sat down and I was going to work on it. And I just started feeling like I was really overwhelmed. It was a lot of information. Like I just felt like I couldn't really like process my thoughts. And so I only got one part of it done.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did the questions themselves give you some anxiety, or how were you feeling when you were reading some of the questions?
Yeah, they did give me anxiety. And then it gave me anxiety that I felt like I didn't have good enough answers. if that
Okay.
makes sense.
Yes, that makes sense.
Yeah, like I think I'm just always feel so jumbled. And so like when I'm asked these direct questions, it's just really tricky to kind of like formulate all those thoughts. But I was able to really focus on one part of the worksheet. So at least like I did do that part.
Okay, well, that's good. That's really good. That's a positive thing. Okay. And it's okay that, you didn't feel comfortable answering the other ones. I want you to feel comfortable in this process. And if something's really triggering to you, then it's good that we've recognized that and we can work on that, throughout the next couple sessions. Okay.
That makes me feel a lot better. Thank
And
you.
like I said, I'm going to give you some tools. So when you start to feel that way, you can use those tools and kind of bring yourself back to being focused, being centered, being in reality and in the moment. Okay. So
Okay.
what was the question for the homework that you actually did get to do?
So I did the one that was talking about like situational avoidance. and,
Okay. Avoiding
um,
challenging solutions. Okay.
Yes. That was something that I was pretty firm that I could come up with a good answer for that one. Do you want to talk about it?
Yes, I would love to hear what your answer was.
Okay. I feel like it's gonna sound really silly because to most people, like I know it's not a big deal. Like nobody really like goes through their life having to think about this kind of stuff. But I've been really avoiding bingo. There like is a little community center down the street from my house. It's not too far. And my husband used to drop me off and I made some friends and I was going really consistently. And then like my anxiety like really took off and I felt like it was just overwhelming and I couldn't go. And so I haven't been going. And a few of my friends have, reached out and wondered where I was, but I just can't really like get up the gumption to like go back and see everyone. Like it's so loud and there's a microphone and all the sounds and like, you can't always be close to the exit because it's a small room. And it's just, I'm having a hard time with that one.
Okay. So something that was once enjoyable and fun for you, now it's almost like you can't even think about it because it's not even fun to think about what you feel if you were to go to bingo.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's like, it's weird because nothing ever happened there. Like I've never like had, like, I struggle with panic attacks like we, talked about in our last sessions, but it hasn't happened at bingo, but I'm almost just afraid to go because I'm worried it's going to happen, which sounds so crazy.
No, it's not crazy. It's completely understandable. You're avoiding certain situations that give you anxiety, but what we're working on is to find that trigger. What really is it that's going on that you're feeling so anxious to go to these places or to do these things, So we're definitely going to work through that. Okay. And you're not crazy. Don't feel like that. Everybody has things that give them anxiety. Anxiety is a normal thing. It's just not when your anxiety goes overload, that's when we kind of need to figure out what's going on. So I had mentioned that I wanted to teach you some ways to get present. So there's 3 different ways that I have. One is called Take 10 Breaths. Kind of sounds exactly almost in a sense of what it is.
Okay.
Another one is Drop Anchor, where it's more of a full body grounding and having your feet on the floor and noticing different things. And then the next one is Notice 5 Things, where you kind of take a moment, you look, you notice 5 things, you hear 5 things, and then 5 things you can touch. Which one do you think you'd want to learn first and see if it works for you?
I think maybe starting out simple with, the 10 breaths and something I can remember. And I think that'll be helpful. Would it be okay if we started with that one?
Yes, that's perfectly fine. I want you to be comfortable, throughout this process so that, we can make sure we help you. So I want you to actually do this while I'm, talking to you.
Okay.
That way, I think if you do it here with me, it'll help you remember it when you're at home and you need to practice this.
Okay.
So I want you to take 10 slow, deep breaths. And while you're doing that, focus on breathing out as slowly as possible until the lungs are completely empty. Then allow them to refill by themselves. I want you to notice the sensation of your lungs emptying. Notice them refilling. Notice your rib cage rising and falling. Notice the gentle rise and fall of your shoulders. Then see if you can let your thoughts come and go as if they're just like a passing car driving outside past your house. Expand your awareness. I want you to simultaneously notice your breathing and your body. Then look around the room and notice what you can see, hear, smell, touch, and feel. How did that feel?
Wow, that was surprisingly helpful.
Good. So what I want you to really focus on this week is when you start to feel that anxiety, I want you to ground yourself and take a moment and do that and see how you feel after. And I'm also, I definitely want to send you, of course, with a little homework,
Do my
and
best.
I think this one won't give you as much anxiety as the other one, because all you're going to do is you are going to, I'm going to email you it. You're going to record your mindful breathing, and it's called the Mindful Breathing Practice Sheet. So you'll tell me what day, date, and time it's happening and how long you practiced it for.
Okay.
Then I want you to talk about difficult thoughts and feelings that might have shown up while you were practicing this. And then I want you to tell me the benefits or the difficulties that you're having during the process. Do you think you would feel comfortable with this homework?
Yeah, I think that feels a little more approachable.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
Good.
so I'll give it a try.
I'm really glad to hear that, Jordan. I think that we are on, a positive stretch right here. You know, you're opening up more about different things. I remember at your first session, you had so much anxiety just being there that you could barely even really tell me
Yeah.
exactly what was going on. And now you're, you know, I can see that you're a bit anxious, but you're able to talk to me and feel comfortable and, you know, really say what's going on. And I hope we can continue that. And I look forward to seeing you next week, same time. I will email you that homework and we'll go over that next week at the beginning of the session, okay?
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
So we chose the ACT therapy because it helps individuals develop greater psychological flexibility, which means they're better able to handle difficult thoughts and feelings. So instead of trying to control or eliminate these experiences, individuals are taught to accept them and to learn to live in the present moment without any judgment. ACT also incorporates mindfulness techniques, which can be helpful with individuals to become more aware of their thoughts and feelings within the present moment. So for individuals like our client with anxiety and agoraphobia, ACT can be particularly effective because it can help them develop skills to tolerate the physical sensations of anxiety and negative thoughts that often accompany these conditions. So ACT encourages individuals to commit to action that aligns with their values, even if they feel anxious or uncomfortable. So you were able to see us, work through a little bit of that today. Even though I was a little nervous to even come to therapy, we were able to work through that together. We had some grounding techniques that were helpful, some mindfulness activities, and then we also implemented some homework that was helpful for the client as well. So we appreciate you listening to our role play, and we hope that you took a little bit away from our presentation. Thank you so much.